Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about NYC crime getting worse. Now, obviously, for those of you who don't live in the city, you're probably already going to say, no shit. Of course, it's getting worse. You got a shitbag mayor who doesn't want to do anything. The asshole's taking long walks in the park because he's pondering whether he's going to quit or run for president again. Who the fuck knows? But there was an article on him taking long walks in the park while the city is falling apart. You got a shitty fucking governor who's also running the city like a tyrant because he can't mind his own fucking business, and him and de Blasio hate each other. They have a long-standing history of not liking each other. Regardless, they're both assholes. They're both trying to blame Trump, and it's their fault. Crazy shit as it is. Now, I lived through the 80s, obviously, right? I'm 43 years old, so I was around in the 80s. Though I was a kid, I still paid attention to what was going on in the city. I paid attention to the news and crime. Didn't matter where you look, there was crime. My parents did a good job protecting us from that bullshit, but nonetheless, we still looked at the news and saw what was going on. The city was bad then. The Bronx had abandoned buildings. No matter where you looked in the Bronx, guys, abandoned buildings everywhere. And in Brooklyn, they had the same thing. They had abandoned buildings everywhere. Now Brooklyn's built up, so is the Bronx. It's looking good now. Enter de Blasio. This stupid asshole comes in and destroys the city. He literally pulls the thread out and the city's falling apart. That being said, guys, crime is getting worse. Now, I'm doing this video because last night I was about to get into a fist fight over a parking spot. The story goes, there's a bunch of people that hang out here. They happen to be Mexicans. And they don't even live in the neighborhood. They live in Queens. Some of them live in Connecticut. But for whatever reason, they congregate here. They are pretty far away from Connecticut and Queens to come all the way over here and have some kind of fish frying bullshit festival they have every week. And they're here. They used to be here just Saturdays. Now they're here 3-4 times a week. So they're taking up parking left and right. One guy holds another parking spot for another dude who doesn't live here. So, of course, I get in the words. Tell them to go fuck themselves. You guys don't live here. And then with that, they start throwing a race card around. Why don't you tell your black brothers down there to move their cars? I'm like, they're not here. And I think they were referring to the drug dealers. I'm like, even the drug dealers know when to fucking call it quits, and you guys are here 2 o'clock in the morning. I had an event out in Jersey. I come back home, and I enter this bullshit. So now the cop jumps in the middle, stops me and this kid from fighting, and 2 other fucking, of course they were drunk, 2 other drunkards try their bullshit, and whatever. The female cop now jumps in the middle. So then the thing gets squashed. About an hour later, they go after each other. It was glorious to see because, drunk people, they can't keep their fucking hands off one another. So they go at it. Then the cops come in force and break the shit up. I was going to get into a fist fight over parking, but it was a little more than that. It was about the disrespect for the neighborhood. So the city is falling apart. The disrespect is at an all-time high. All-time high. People are cutting off one another on the highway. People are fighting with each other in the middle of the street for shit like that. Parking, cutting one another off, looking at somebody the wrong way. Somebody's not wearing a mask on a bus. They're getting into fights. Now, a lot of you know my stance on the mask now. I'm not a big fan of it. For the obvious reason, there's a lot of bullshit behind it. But nonetheless, if you're going into somebody's store and that's their establishment, put the fucking mask on. Whether you like it or not, or you don't go into the store, right? That's the choice. That's the choice you make. It's the choice I make. If I have to go in somewhere and they're forcing me to put a mask on, I just won't go in. It's that simple. If I need it, I'm going to go in and put the mask on. It's that simple, guys. There's no real argument here, right? Private property. But I don't want to get into the mask thing. I did a video on you have 2 choices with a mask. You should view that. The city's falling apart. So now, crime is obviously up. And when you look on the NYPD crime stat, guys, you could type in NYC crime stats, October, September, whatever it is, and the crime stats will come up according to the month. And all you have to do is click on it, and it takes you to a PDF file of the crime stat for that week, because they do it week to week. So with that, murders, shootings, grand larceny, car theft, car break-ins are up. So let me go over the stats real quick on what's what. So as of October 3rd, shootings are up 127%. Murders are up 76%. Burglaries are up 42%. Car thefts are up, but I couldn't find the stat, or maybe I was reading it wrong. And there's something new. This is, I don't know what it falls under. I don't know if it falls under assault or not, but train track pushings. They've been pushing people in train tracks like hotcakes around here. Like every time I look at the Citizens app or Firewire, which is another app for like, people who are firefighter buffs, you look at that, you have like somebody down in the train station, man down in the train station, woman down in the train station. It's almost like it's like once a day now, almost, so it seems like it. But you look in the Citizens app, you see it a lot often than you did a year ago. A year ago, it was here and there. Now, because they let the crazies loose, it's all the time. It seems like it's all the time. Sorry, not that it's all the time. It seems like it is. I mean, guys, at one time, the crazies used to be in the trunk. And then, the liberals, they said, well, that's inhumane. You got to put them up front. All right, so you put them in the back seat. Then they start screaming in the ear that they want to drive. Now we let them fucking drive the car. Now look, America's falling apart because we let the psychopaths of America out of the box. They need to go back in the trunk, guys. That's just, my little personal, about them, because all I see is crazy bullshit going on. It's insane. It's insane what's going on in the city and how bad the crime is. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, get out of the city, don't stay. I get it. We're working on it. It's not as simple as snapping my finger and disappearing. If I hit the lottery, absolutely I'm out of here. Let me tell you about New York City or in other cities. Detroit is bad already, so I don't think it could get any fucking worse than it already is. But New York City, even in the 80s, it was bad, guys, but it wasn't end of the world bad. It wasn't Snake Plissken bad, right? Escape from New York. It wasn't that bad, but it was shitty. But it wasn't bad, it wasn't worse, it wasn't the end of the world. I'm not here to tell you that New York City's so bad you can't visit. And I'm not here to panic you to be like, oh my God, we gotta get the fuck out of here. What I'm telling you is, it's bad, and you have to keep your head on a swivel. Right? You come to the city, there's still some things you can enjoy here, but I know a lot of you are going to say, fuck the city. You know what? I hate to say this, but because the way the mayor is running the city and the way the governor's running the city, I can wholeheartedly understand if people don't want to visit it. I can understand that. I get it. But if you love the city, you can still come down here. Just stay out of the bad areas, even though some of the good areas are getting touched with the bullshit. Guys, it's getting bad here, but you still need to keep your wits about you. It is not time to panic. The city's going to get bad, obviously, because we're seeing it unfold, but we still have to sort of wait and see how bad it gets. Now, that's where you come up with a plan. Do you leave or do you stay? Okay? So, though this is talking about NYC getting worse, it is, but it doesn't mean America's going to get worse, right? It just means NYC is, it's in a little bit of trouble right now, but eventually, guys, the ebbs and flows, it'll fucking come back like anything else. I'm not going to panic about that. I'm worried about more realistic shit like the food shortage and the shutdown of this COVID shit making our economy worse. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about more realistic shit like that, not this, made up shit. And guys, listen, with the shutdown of COVID, because of COVID, sorry, crime's going to get undoubtedly worse. Hunger is going to become a real fucking thing we're going to see in the street, right? That's why crime is going to go up. Less people with jobs, no money. Crime is going to escalate. Crime is going to be a fucking issue. How do we combat that? Get yourself mace. Get yourself pepper spray. Not mace, pepper spray. Make sure you get it through illegal routes like hardware stores and shit like that do sell them here in New York City. Get yourself something like that. Get yourself a rifle if you can. And use the rifle responsibly for hunting, but not people. But get yourself a rifle just in case. Try to defend yourself. Try to take hand-to-hand combat classes that are still available here in the city. Some places are teaching them, some places are not. Just do yourself a favor and get yourself ready. And do yourself a favor when you're in the train station. Keep your head on a swivel. Guys, I can't say that enough. Keep your head on a swivel. When you get to the train station, put your back against the wall. Don't sit there on the track and go, that's stupid. With the crazies running around the city, keep your back against the wall. Look at the train coming in from the wall. You don't need to fucking hang your head over the track. I know I still do it because I don't think anyone's ever going to push me in. That's me. Plus, if I see a crazy coming, I'm like, oh, here goes Mr. Psychopath. I put my back against the wall, or I step away from the train tracks, the edge there, right? So, guys, do yourself a favor. Just keep your head on a swivel. Shit is getting worse. I'll try to update you guys as much as I can about what's going on in the city. But other than that, again, do not panic. Simple as that. Shit gets worse. You get a little nervous. You can always reach out to me to angryprepper@gmail.com. There's no need to get nervous either, guys. There really isn't. If you're an 80s kid like I am, you know how bad the city was. There's no need to panic. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.